So, hi, Tristan. Thanks for meeting me today. I wanted to get to know a little bit about you, about your business and your company, and see how we can help each other.
Definitely, yeah. I've been in the business for about a month. It's actually like I'm working for another company, but as a solar rep, they kind of let us make any of the partnerships we want to. So I typically like partnering with realtors and real estate agents.
Because we sell
But
houses and they want solar on their house. So, that's a good
exact,
partnership.
yes, exactly. So me and one of my partners decided to start doing that about a month ago when I first signed on with the team.
Are you with Tesla by any chance?
I am not. I'm with Kumquat Solar, which is partnershipped with Titan.
Tell us a little bit about that. Give me your sales pitch.
Well, with being partnered with Titan, we do offer like the best prices, and there's no down payments, which is a lot of the issues with some of the other companies, or like the mom and pop solar, which I personally love, but a lot of them go out of business because they just can't compete with the pricing, unfortunately. But we do have the best pricing in a lot of areas just due to the fact that we are teamed with the biggest manufacturer right now in North America, which is very beneficial for us. Is there anything else you need to know? Or
Well, I have a friend who got solar and she didn't. She said she got a solar bill, she has to pay the solar, and she still gets a electricity bill. But her whole point of getting it was to not have electricity bill.
oh, completely agreed. Yeah, we see that in a couple different cases. I was down in Arizona a couple weeks ago, and there's two cases. First case scenario, you got solar with a bad company and they didn't do their job correctly, which we always try to offset 100%. We do typically 100 to 20 to 130 just to make sure that you never pay that bill from your utility company and that it always offsets it completely.
So hold on. So you're saying 120 what?
Percent. So essentially your energy usage, say you use 1,000 kilowatts a month, we'll make your system produce 1,200 kilowatts a month, and we cover it for 25 years that it produces enough energy to cover that 1,000 kilowatts a month because over time there is some degrade to it. So we kind of put in the 20% as a little buffer for ourselves, just because if say drops and you're only producing 900 instead of 1,000 kilowatts that month, we would then put in panels for you with no expense too, just because that's what we have in our contract.
Okay. So I've
But
heard that,
continue.
well, I was going to say, I heard that putting them up there kind of degrades the roof. Does that X out any roof warranty?
Well, we have a roof warranty. Yeah, we typically insure a 25-year and we have a 30-year program.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
And
all
then
the things that I heard about are your company has addressed those already.
yeah, yeah. And the other issue with the non 100% offset that we saw in Arizona, some utility companies won't let you 100% offset their bill. It's
Mhm.
like there's one in Arizona called APS. I can't think of what it stands for off the top of my head, but you could cover everything so you wouldn't pay their bill at all. But then another one called SRP, you're only about to cover about 65 to 70% of the bill. So they'd still unfortunately have two bills. So I don't like that as much, but it depends on the utility company as well.
So you being the expert, you would know, like down here, I'm in Houston, you would know which companies to recommend for.
Yeah.
Is it a difference in the cost of your product versus if I get it at 65% or 75% or 125%?
It really depends. Like I'm not as familiar with each of the little ones in Houston because there's a lot in Houston compared to Arizona. But overall, statewide, the grid is covering, they want a 40% increase because the bills are going up, which they're charging the utility companies more. So all of the utility companies are seeing an increase. I haven't seen too many where we haven't been able to 100% it, I typically just set the appointments to my partner who closes the deals right now, but we haven't seen too many situations where we haven't been able to 100% offset it in Houston, and Houston is one of the best spots to get it as of now.
Okay. So I'm also planning on building a community out in rural, like within an hour of Houston. Um, it's going to start with raw land, no nothing. So we want solar out there. Um, is there like a standalone solar, or does it have to be attached to a building, or can it be like a solar farm where um, I guess
We do
go ahead.
We do some big aspects ones. I haven't personally worked with a community project yet because we do some community projects.
Okay.
I myself haven't worked to install one yet or had a part in that, but I do have a friend in the company who's been here for about 2 years. His name's Adele. He's actually one of our vice presidents in the company. Who, if you were interested in doing that, what I do is set you up with an appointment to talk that out with him because he would be the expert on that, and I wouldn't want to give you any information that I didn't know.
Gotcha. What's the name of your company?
It's called Kumquat Solar. It's actually a fruit. So we also have an energy drink made out of the same fruit.
Kumquat.
Yes.
Oh,
Quum Quat. Not Qum. Kumquat.
Kumquat. I had it spelled
Yes.
wrong too. I had it started with a C.
Yeah, I did that at first. My first day I did that, and I'm like, wait, this isn't right.
Right. I've heard of kumquat. I can't tell you what it tastes like though.
It tastes pretty good in the energy drink because the company typically provides us with energy drinks. It's a healthier version, the very little ingredients, no added sugar, because a lot of sales reps are constantly caffeinated on really unhealthy sports drinks. So it's kind of their way to give back to the community.
Yeah. So you sit at a desk and make phone calls all day. Is that what your typical?
That's what I do because I'm in New York, but a lot of the guys with Kumquat will be outside door knocking. So they go door to door. That's not really my style. And I also can't do that in New York because we're only licensed in 28 states right now. That should be 34 by the end of the month. But I'm still waiting to hear back from my boss on that. And I can't sell in New York. So I typically do online marketing and reach out to people through Facebook or other areas to get leads in other states.
Okay. So let's say you were, I guess, a phone call, and I just bought a house. I'm a new homeowner, and I want to refer them to you for solar. How does that work?
Yes. Like, what do you mean in regards to you doing it or in regards of me doing it?
Regards to you doing that, because I'm not a solar person, but I want to refer them to you.
All right, so essentially what you do, you just tell them about me. You'd set up an appointment with me, like you give them my contact info, and then I'd walk through like all the benefits, what they'd be paying with their utility company.
Uh-oh. Hold on a second. My granddaughter's coming home and the dogs are excited.
I understand.
Hello. Okay. So do you go through like PowerPoint with them, or do you just say the benefits of
Typically,
it, or what does that look like?
it depends on the homeowner. Some homeowners don't enjoy Zooms, so then I just go through, I do a solar proposal. Takes about 20 minutes to finish putting up. I put in the numbers in my system, and in about 20 minutes, it generates like what they'd be saving, how much it would cost, the best sun areas on their roof, and all of that. And then I'd walk through the numbers with them. I prefer to do it on Zoom where I can show my screen. And we do have some PowerPoints, but it really depends on the customer and the client and what perceive their benefit the most.
So they would give you like their typical monthly bill, and
Yeah, yeah.
and you compare. So for, let's say, a 2,500 square foot house, um, what would the typical solar costs be?
It's impossible to estimate that. I've seen so many different pricings on systems. It's like there's no way to. It really depends on sun and the area, how many trees you have. Like there's so many different numbers that go into it. I wouldn't be able to like give you that estimate. I'd have to plug it into my system. And unfortunately, my system is down this week, or I would do a demo for you so I could show you that. But I'm waiting on my one of my assistants in the company to get that back running for me.
But a person would want to know, like, what is this solar system going to cost me? Is it like, because I have no idea. Is it $3,000,
All right,
thirty
I
thousand
see what you're saying.
dollars, a hundred
So
thousand?
the way we typically run it is if you do want to pay up front, which I don't recommend, it would be anywhere between 20,000 and 60,000. What we end up doing is putting it on a monthly plan where we essentially wipe your utility bill. Say most people's utility bill in Houston right now is about 400. So you wipe that completely, get rid of that, and then you'd put them on a payment system where they're paying like 275 or 315. And while the 400 bill is going to keep going up as the grid decreases and the utility charges more, it'll be like 415 next year and then 460 the year after. This would be at a steady rate of 275 or 315, and it's going to be locked in for the next 25 years or however long you plan to pay off the system. Because like if it is $40,000, you can pay. It's like a loan. You pay high up front. Like you could pay like $600 a month and get it paid off really quick, and then you'd have free energy for the next however many years you have left on the warranty. Or you would just pick a number and do the full 25 years, and then you'd be saving about 30% on average on your monthly bill.
Okay, so now I've been in this house for 10 years. I've been making the minimum payment. Now I want to move. And I still got this solar. I'm leasing. Am I leasing the solar at this point?
You can, you can lease it, you can finance it. There's so many different plans and options, but essentially what you do, you just defer the payments onto the next person. So you'd add it in the home value. So say you had like $10,000 left on the house, you just be like, all right, this is what I have left on the house. You can either pay it up front or you can pay it monthly. So like essentially you just defer it to them.
Okay. And they have to still qualify, transfer it over to your company.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I've heard of people doing that and not qualifying. I'm like, well, why wouldn't they qualify if they just bought a house? They obviously qualify to buy a house. Why can't they qualify to buy the solar system?
So it depends with our company. Like you have to have a credit score of 650 or higher, I know. There are some people in the company who are able to get away with lower credit scores, depending on who they are and the agreements they have with loan companies. So some people can do a 600. I personally cannot because I don't have the connections that they do. So essentially, it's just all about trustability because essentially they are putting something that's very valuable on their roof. And if they can't ensure that they're going to pay it, then they're not going to do it.
Well, yeah, there are home buyers who purchase a home with their credit below 650. So there are some that can even get in the house on 580. And so they would not qualify then to take over the solar thing.
Exactly.
Huh.
And I personally don't know what happens in that situation. I am still pretty new to this. Typically, I have somebody else on all of my calls with me that walks through it. I just set the appointments for them.
Okay, well, that's your homework assignment. Find out for me.
I'll write it down.
Find out for me what's the scenario there.
All right.
So somebody could also get a house with owner finance and their credit is not good, but they have cash to get the owner finance, but then they can't get finance to continue on the solar payments. So that might be an issue.
Well, actually, I do know partial answer of this. I don't know the full description of this, but I did have a brief conversation with one of the guys that I'm thinking about now. So essentially, say you had $20,000 left to pay off the system, and the house is probably going to be worth more than 100, but for simplicity, say it's $100,000 house, you'd sell it for 120,000. They'd get the system, you'd pay off the system, so you wouldn't have to worry about that. They'd
Mm,
get the system and they pay for it with the house. So whatever loan that they pay for the house, they would be able to do it that way,
okay. Okay. It makes
if
sense.
that makes sense. All right.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, I don't think I have any more specific questions. You have anything else you want to tell me about you? Tell me a little bit about your background. How'd you get in this business and what'd you do before you got into this?
So I graduated at 16 from high school and I went to college for business.
Oh
I
my, you're a
was
smart
in
one.
there. I tried. But I was in college for 2 years and I realized it wasn't really my thing. So this fall I decided I'd take a year off. And I'm a big fan of sales personally. So I was thinking about getting into car sales, but that just it seemed kind of sleazy, if that makes sense. I don't know. I just didn't like it as much. Then I learned about this company and I used to hate solar personally. Like I don't tell most people this. I used to hate solar. I'm like, oh no, it's stupid. But then I looked into the numbers and everything, and the way this company made it sound was, all right, you're just saving money each month and you're switching systems over, which is nice for me because I don't feel like a salesman. I feel like I'm just helping people save money, which at the end of the day, that's what it is. I do make money off of it, but they save money. And to me, that's the most important thing.
Right.
So I decided to do that, and I've been with the company for about a month. I went to Arizona with the company about 3 weeks ago, which was a lot of fun and just kind of still getting into it and learning as I go.
Okay, good, good. So you don't have an extensive work background because you went to high school, college 2 years, and took off a year, and now you're with this company.
Yeah, yeah. I have backgrounds. I've worked in restaurants and I've landscaped. I had a landscaping company for a bit and I've kind of done everything under the moon there, worked at retail stores and stuff, but this is my first career job, if that makes sense.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay. And so when you come to Houston, you're gonna still be with this company and
Yes, yeah.
gonna do anything else, or is this just gonna be solar sales and that's it?
I'm thinking about getting into security system sales, but that's a whole nother process and I'm still working through that. So I don't know if I will do that or not. So that's still up in the air, but I definitely want to get into solar pretty big. And Houston's a pretty good spot for it right now. So I plan on either getting a part-time home down there or getting a home down there.
You see my shirt, right?
I do see it. Yes, I like it.
Me and my son went there. They had an event and we went there. We have a Tesla, so he likes to go to those rallies with other Tesla owners.
All right. So I've seen those. I've never been, but one day I'd like to. That'd be fun.
When you come down to Houston, Austin is 2 hours away.
Yeah, yeah. Say I'm in between Houston and Austin right now because I have a couple members in the company that live in Houston and a couple members that live in Austin. So I probably end up going in and getting a house with one of them because they're renting right now. But I haven't quite figured that out. I'm still pretty young, so I'm kind of working things out, the details and all that. But that's what my hopes are.
Gotcha. Well, I can help you in either way. I'm also a lender and a realtor here in Houston.
That's really good to know. Glad I have this connection because that makes me feel a lot better about when I move.
Well, it was great meeting you and talking with you, and I'm glad to connect with you. So,
It was great meeting you as well.
my granddaughter's kicking stuff in the room with the dogs. All right. Well, thank you, and you have a great rest of your day, and we'll be in touch. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a
One
great
last
day.
thing. How can we reach you if your phone number? We need to reach you to
Oh, yes.
solar.
Just send to my phone number. It's 518-231-5561.
Okay, and I'm gonna post this on my YouTube channel, so I'll put all that in the show notes and I'll share it with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Have
Bye-bye.
a great day. Bye now.